to Strategy Now here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. We're going to take a look at the noon hour, see what the strategies that are being deployed. Where are the sectors that are on the move? And folks, guess what? We are rallying into this midday. The Dow Jones Industrial is barely on the edges of edging out its large cap brethren, up 78 points right now, about 0.4% to the upside at 19,843. You see the NASDAQ futures up 17, up about 0.3% at 49.49. And the S&P 500 has a gain of about 10.25, up about 0.4% at 22.62. And this action has come on higher than average volume, both on New York and the NASDAQ. You also have advancers outpacing decliners, and you have a mixed new highs to new lows, both on the NASDAQ and on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, we've seen this first half of the session enjoy some upside, erasing basically the bulk of the downside move after the FOMC announcement. Now, this rally has taken place despite the strength in the U.S. dollar. Right now, the U.S. dollar index is trading at 103.35, up $1.59. That's the best level that we've seen in over 13 years since 2003. Now, the dollar advance also comes on the heels of pressuring the euro over in Europe, which is trading right now right around 103.95. This is a level that we haven't seen in that pair in nearly 14 years. And the yen, it continues to tumble. Japanese stocks were under pressure overnight, but we see that the swing low right now on the dollar-yen pair is at 118.67, and the yen has just been incredibly weak so far this session and continues to. Again, for the time being, the markets, they're not paying attention to the current moves in the currency markets. But if this dollar push continues to the upside, it's not going to be long before you're going to see concerns about future earnings of exporters weighing on the sentiment of the market. That's why we also see that the Russell 2000 has been lagging its large cap brethren at this stage. As a matter of fact, taking a look at the Russell 2000, it is up 14.5 at 1372, but we're going to keep an eye on that very closely. Now, the sentiment on 10 of the offensive sectors that I have seen has been to the upside. And the financial sector is the most notable upside mover, especially after the FOMC did move rates up to the upside. Seems to be that they're going to be more hawkish than expected into 2017. We have this finance sector up as a whole, up about 1.4% today, and it's held that gain basically since the start of the trading day. It's also extending its December move to the upside. Total month gain right now is at 5.7% for finance. And again, this also is not being pulled back or drawn down by some news that came out that the Federal Reserve looked at how the banks would hold up as far as absorbing any capacity shortfall. And bottom line is that there is basically a $70 billion shortfall. Now that comes off of the 2015 estimate, which was $120 billion. So it's improved, but they have until 2019 to basically shore up that risk. Now finance is being lagged by, or being basically followed by telecom services, and they're up about 1.2% right now, about 1% now. And consumer discretionary is lagging both these sectors, only up about 0.1%. We have materials up about 0.8%. The real estate sector, in spite of the National Home Builders Association coming out with some positive numbers, better than expected, that sector is holding up actually quite well after the rate hike. It's only down 0.1%, and it's a slim loss. Technology has been another leader, up about 0.7% holistically as a sector. That's basically been catalyzed by the chip sector moving to the upside. The SMH has moved up. That's the Philly Semiconductor Index, up about 2%. Xilinx, ticker symbol XLNX, has been the story there, up 329. It leads the rally after Morgan Stanley upgraded the stock to overweight from equal weight. Now, you're also seeing that the industrial sector up about 0.3%, trades a bit behind the general market. Basically, looking at that particular sector, there's mixed action amongst the defense contractors, and that offsets whatever strength that we're seeing in transportation. As a matter of fact, the transports have been moving to the upside by about 0.9%. That's been led by Delta Airlines, ticker symbol DAL, up about $1.07. They raised their fourth quarter passenger revenue per available seat mile guidance this morning. Taking a look at treasuries, the treasuries with the 5-year note holding a mild loss, just a slim loss, while the 10-year note is flat. You see the 5-year yield up about 3 basis points on the pullback in price in the 5 years, and that yield is right around 2.08%. The 10-year yield sits basically flat at 2.57%, so we'll keep an eye on that. What you want to keep an eye on is Tech Talk. At 3:30 Eastern Time, I will be back on, and we're going to be talking about some notable earnings announcements in Oracle, Jabil Circuits, as well as Adobe. So stay tuned at 3:30 Eastern Time on Tech Talk. Till then, have a great rest of the trading session.